what the black man and woman needs to know about the nation, about the world, about themselves. Muhammad Speaks It. To order your 12-issue subscription to Muhammad Speaks newspaper, 313-371-7033. 313-371-7033. Kareem Bean Pie is the grand champion of all bean pies. The rich flavor and smooth texture takes this pie to a whole new level of delicious. One bite and you'll understand why people all over the country call daily to order Kareem Bean Pie. 313-371-7033. That's 313-371-7033. Kareem Bean Pie.
This bean pie is delicious.
Muhammad Speaks presents Messenger Elijah Muhammad's Teachings by Minister Khalil Shabazz every Sunday from 2 to 3 p.m. at Muhammad's Temple of Islam, 12609 East McNichols Road in Detroit.
Brothers and sisters, we rise for prayer. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, all praise is due to Allah, the Lord of the worlds, the Beneficent, the Merciful. So, Master's Day of Judgment in which we now live, the alone do we serve and the alone seek for thine help and aid. O Allah, please guide us on the right path, the path of those upon whom thou bestow thy favors, not on the path of those upon whom thy wrath is brought down, nor those who go astray after they heard thy teachings. Say he, Allah is one God. Allah is he of whom nothing is independent, but upon whom we all depend. He begetteth not, nor is he begotten, there is none like him. And I bear witness that none deserve to be served, worship, or praise besides Allah, who came in the person of Master Farad Muhammad. And I bear witness that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is thy true servant and last apostle. Ameen. We'd like to acknowledge the brothers and sisters that extended us the greetings of Assalamu alaikum. We have Brother Harvey Shabazz from Virginia. We have Captain Shabay from Atlanta. We have Minister Hop from New York. We have Sister Amarose Kuket from Iowa. We have Brother Mustafa and Sister Sharice Ali from Ohio. We have Brother Salim Shabazz from Florida. And we have Brother Hanif Al Ghani from Atlanta. I'd like to say in the name of Allah, who came in the person of Master Farad Muhammad, and in the name of his last and greatest messenger, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, I'd like to greet the brothers and sisters with the Nation of Islam's greeting words of peace of Assalamu alaikum. Today we like to talk about fighting in the name of Allah. And we want to start with, this is the December 8th, 1972, Muhammad Speaks. And this is in what Islam has done for me. It says, power of Allah gave victory to Muhammad Speaks salesmen in fight with Southern cops. Because this right here is just a little bit of history of the nation. Because back during the time of the messenger, you couldn't sell Muhammad Speaks newspapers without the devil harassing you. Because when you look at the history of the Nation of Islam, and this happened in Atlanta, Georgia, they used to tell or say to the Muslims that they was harassing pedestrians when they would stand there and just say Muhammad Speaks. So police would attack and even sometimes kill Muslims just for selling papers. So this was a particular incident where the brothers fought back and Allah was with them. So we're going to start and read from, this is the Atlanta Constitution. Because we don't want people to think that the Muhammad Speaks just juicing it for the Muslims. But let's start with what it says in the Muhammad Speaks. It says, following the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's teachings to fight with those who fight with you, Muslim brothers of Muhammad's Temple number 15 mightily defended themselves against a brutal armed police attack in the heart of downtown Atlanta. They said the unarmed fruit of Islam were outnumbered by the fully armed police officers by more than 2 to 1. Yet the Muslims received only slight scratches and 1 jammed thumb, while 3 police officers were sent to the hospital for treatment of head injuries and cuts and abrasions. It says the Muslims under attack swung into action, crying Allahu Akbar, then fought fearless and boldly wreaked havoc on the attacking ranks of the patrol. All praise is due to Allah. Because the messenger taught us. He said, we are never the aggressor. He said, but fight with those who fight with you. Yes, sir. And this because I done brought so much stuff. I'm going to keep it real. That I'm going to probably be jumping around. Because there's so much history. But this Muhammad Speaks newspaper. This is the October 18th, 1968, Muhammad Speaks. And we're going to gloss over this because I know we don't have time to get to everything. But this is what a messenger was telling brothers to fight with those who fight with you. When I first read it, it blew me away. I did not know the messenger used to talk like this in public about the devil. I didn't know until I read this article. What happened in this incident is in Dallas, Texas. A Muslim was fighting the devil. The brother disarmed the devil. But the messenger said the brother was afraid, so he turned heels. The brother gave the gun back to the devil, and the devil killed the brother. So the messenger was highly upset about this brother giving the weapon back to the devil. So the messenger said in the article, he said that Allah promised him that for it, the least Muslim that the white man kills, he said Allah will kill 10 of his best ones. He said to the Muslims, he said, never turn on your heels. He said, when Allah is with you, but if you turn and run, he said, Allah is no longer with you when you run. He said, if Allah blesses you to take this devil's weapon, he said, you never turn heels. He said, go ahead and defend yourself. Praise to Allah. So the messenger, I'm just going to read a little bit. The messenger says the Holy Quran forbids Muslims to turn heels on an enemy. For it teaches us if we run from death, death will overtake us one day anyway. And if we die for a good cause, it is better than to die a coward. So in this case, the brother was shot down after having weapons in his hand to try to defend himself. But we do not take officers' weapons from them, so long as they are not trying to kill us. Yes, sir. That's what blew. He's saying we ain't gonna take, but if you try, we gonna take them away from you. Just the messenger. Yes, sir. Talking about fighting armed devils. He said, depend on Allah, and Allah will be with you. And we do not take their guns if they ain't trying to kill us. So he goes on to say, he says, we are not to be the aggressor. But if an aggressor attacks us, we are to fight in the name of Allah to defend ourselves. This is a universal law. Fight with those who fight with you, but never be the aggressor. But if we run from the enemy, Allah will not grant us any help against them. He says, but I warn the enemy, this yet does not let you out. It is Allah's will who came in the person of Master Farad Muhammad.
Yes, sir.
Praise to Allah. This the message. Because I said all this to say about this Louis Farrakhan. Gotta talk about him. Because the Nation of Islam today is being Will Smithed. Just gonna keep it real. The Nation of Islam is being Will Smithed. Now what am I talking about? Will Smith thought in his head, because Will Smith is not tough at all. But in Will Smith's mind, he thought if I go up there and smack Chris Rock, I'm going to look tough to everybody. Even though I know Chris Rock ain't going to do nothing. So when Will Smith went to slap Chris Rock, when he sat back down in his seat, he was still trying to look tough. But it was written all over his face. Will Smith ain't nothing but a chicken heart who smacked Chris Rock because he knew he wasn't going to do nothing. So let's talk about Louis. Because I chose Atlanta, Georgia for a reason. When we talking about fighting with those who fight with us, fighting in the name of, you could have used any city during the time of the mess. You could have used Detroit. You could have used New York. You could have used Baton Rouge, Louisiana. You could have used Los Angeles. You could have used Cleveland. You could have used Miami. You could have used Houston. You could have used Dallas. You could have used any city that had a Muhammad's Temple of Islam. But I chose Atlanta for a particular reason. Let's talk about it. This video was posted 8 days ago in Atlanta, Georgia. In 8 days, this video got 9,400 views. 9,400 views in 1 week. These fakes who look to me just like Will Smith. Will Smith had tears in his eyes because Will Smith is a chicken heart. Just like these fakes. When you go look at this video, they got about 20, 30 brothers standing on one corner. In 1972, a Muslim couldn't even sell a Muhammad Speaks newspaper without the police harassing them. I'm talking about shooting and killing Muslims for selling papers. But these weak chicken hearts today can have 15, 20, 30 brothers on one corner with a microphone harassing the black man. Because you know the devil ain't gonna do nothing. You know that. Plus, what you also know, you know Louis Farrakhan ain't gonna do nothing either. So you look like Will Smith.
Yes, sir.
Praise to Allah. These weak Israelites do not look tough to me at all.
That's right.
But if you can, I have respect for them. If you can show me when the messenger was alive, some black Hebrew Israelites who told them FOI to hell with a bean pie and your false God, then I might have some respect. But you don't look tough by selling wolf tickets when you know Louis Farrakhan to change the Nation of Islam.
Right.
Louis Farrakhan, not only did he hug this devil, he kissed him on the cheek. Then he sat there and held this devil's hand.
Yes, sir.
Not only that, when the devil got in trouble, Louis Farrakhan ran to his aid. So these Will Smith black Hebrew Israelites, they see that too.
Yes, sir. They see it.
They see it's a big difference between Louis Farrakhan and Elijah Muhammad.
Yes, sir.
Elijah Muhammad said is when I'm tongue lashed and you don't do nothing. How can I expect you to do something if I'm cut and shot at?
That's what he said.
The messenger gave them brother clear instructions
Yes.
on how to fight with those who fight with you. Redo to Allah. Because a verbal attack is the same as a physical attack.
Yes, sir.
Now let's go back to Atlanta. Let's finish up with these brothers. And let's just ask ourselves the question. Would these Will Smith black Hebrew Israelites tell these brothers to hell with a bean pie and your false God? Let you be the judge. Because we're going to get through as much history as I can squeeze in and out.
Yes, sir.
This article is called Muslim Police Clash in Mid-City. This is the August 8th, 1972 Atlanta Constitution. It says a free-for-all developed Monday between police and several black Muslims at Marietta and Broad Street, Northwest, that sent 3 policemen to Grady Hospital for treatment and 5 Muslims to jail. Now in the Muhammad Speaks newspaper article, they let us know it was clearly the brothers was outnumbered 2-1. They said that none of the brothers went to the hospital, but 3 of the devils went to the hospitals for treatment. Documented facts. Whether you want to read it in the Muhammad Speaks or not. So it goes on to say, it says a dozen police vehicles sped into the area. How many is a dozen? A dozen is 12 cars for 5 Muslims. Not just 5 Elijah Muhammad Muslims.
Right.
Not these Louis Farrakhan Muslims. Because another thing that I like about the history, the messenger used to tell them captains, he said you got to expect a brother to be a little disobedient. That's what he used to tell the captain. Because I'm going to try to squeeze in as much history as I can. Messenger used to tell brothers, you got to expect them to be a little disobedient. The brother ain't going to be perfect. Sometime the brother might make a mistake. But you got to expect the brother might be a little disobedient. Let's talk about what a little disobedient means with some Elijah Muhammad FOI. Because these brothers was fighting with those who was fighting with them. The police was trying to attack them, so they fought back. Sometimes you had Muslims that just wanted to see what it do. Let's see what it do with this death. The messenger said Islam will take the fear out your heart.
That's right.
So a lot of times brother will see this no good blue-eyed death that they've been fearing all their life. And they say, I just want to see what it do. So you got the 1972 Jet magazine. This was January 27, 1972. Now, when I first read this, I thought the messenger was going to be upset when he got the news about this. I really did. Because I read this, and it was years later before I actually read the Muhammad Speaks newspaper where the messenger actually spoke. Let's read that first. This comes from the January 21st, 1972, Muhammad Speaks. And it says, Baton Rouge. The messengers say we the Muslims had nothing to do with what happened in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. We ain't got nothing to do with that. I don't tell them to do it. They was on their own when they did that. I didn't have nothing to do with that. So the messenger went on to say, he said, I do not know the black brothers who had this fight with our enemy. He said, but I love all my black people. And my mission is to try to save my black people. I do not want to see my black people destroyed. He said, I did not know of this trouble between these black brothers and our enemies. But I can say with all my heart that I love my black brothers regardless to where they are.
Yes, sir.
He said they were only fighting with those who were fighting with them. Praise due to Allah. And he said, and that is the law of nature.
Yes, sir.
So the messenger said, you gotta expect some of these brothers gonna be a little disobedient. And this was a little disobedient for Elijah Muhammad's FOI, not Louis Farrakhan. These brothers just want to see what it do. You talking all the big talk. Let's just go see what it do. I'm talking about the history. I ain't selling one wolf ticket. I'm telling you the actual documented facts. But you show me the history of a black Hebrew Israelite in Atlanta, Georgia, in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, in Birmingham, Alabama, in Atlanta, and in Mississippi. You had Muslims in the South in the 50s teaching that the white man is the devil. The messenger telling brothers in the 50s, fight with those who fight with you. Let's go to some more here. Let's finish with this. This is a picture in the Jet magazine where you got brothers standing on top of a Cadillac. It says exposing themselves as easy targets. 4 bow tie wearing protesters stand atop of a Cadillac used to block the street. They refuse to obey the police order to move. Then the shooting starts. Because what the messenger also wrote, he wrote an article in 1973. It's called Arms Are the God of This World. Showing you the message. He different from Lewis.
Yes.
But before, let's finish with this. It says a dozen police vehicles sped into the area. Blue lights flashing and sirens screaming. At the height of the afternoon rush hour traffic. It says everywhere you look, a Muslim and a policeman would fight, said Lieutenant G.E. Harriman. Harriman said he grabbed one of the combatants, only to notice another choking the policeman a few yards away. These Muslims was on them devils like white on rice. These devils was armed. Let's talk about the devil for a minute. Because we want to know what changed about the devils after the Muslims came. Let's look at some of these devils. This right here is a picture of some devils. Devil police choking the brother. This is for them FOI got around in all these cities and changed the game. Because when you see this devil choking this brother, this old pot-belly devil, Then it looked like this devil got a cigarette in his mouth. Because before the FOI made their mark in America, the white man was just banking on the fact the black man was afraid.
Yes.
So you had these old big pot-belly, big country white boys just buffaloing brothers because they know they scared. No. Let's look at another picture. There's another old pot-belly devil. Old peckerwood, like they used to call them back in the day. Just banking on the fact the brother was afraid. But let's go to when them FOI down in the South start making a mark. This called the Black Muslims in North Carolina. Where was the black Hebrew Israelites, the tough guys? The hell with your bean pies and your false god. You had Muslims in North Carolina. They said the most Ku Klux Klan in the country was in North Carolina. You got Muslims in 1963 making their mark in North Carolina.
Yes, sir.
Let's talk about how they write about the fruit of Islam. It says directly subordinate to Murray because the minister name was Kenneth X. So they called him Murray was his last name. It says directly subordinate to Murray and Durham Temple is a cadre of mentally and physically conditioned followers who make up a group called the Fruit of Islam, a close-knit, secretive elite whose duty includes protection, security, and discipline. It says the Durham Temple appears to have 6 or 7 members in its fruit section. Now, the way they talking about these brothers, you'd have thought it was 50 brothers there. They say it's only 6 or 7, but there's 6 or 7 mentally and physically conditioned, mentally prepared, and elite. FOI. What y'all like? It wasn't no chicken-hearted black Hebrew Israelite nowhere in North Carolina in 1963. If it was, show it to me. They wasn't on the corner with that same energy them chicken-hearted Israelites do today when they know the police ain't gonna do nothing. So it goes on to say, it says members of the FOI are asked to maintain top physical condition. The extent to which the dorm cohorts to Muhammad's policy of training the FOI in the use of weapons and judo is a well-kept secret. Let's talk about this use of weapons. We don't want to give everybody the wrong impression and think the Muslims use weapons. What he talking about is in FOI class they was training brothers how to disarm people with weapons.
Yes, sir.
This was the FOI class when Gordon Parks in 1963. Gordon Parks did an article about the messenger in Life magazine. He was allowed to go into the FOI class. This Elijah Muhammad's FOI class.
Yes, sir.
Because when the messenger was alive, fighting was a part of Islam.
That's right.
Every time you read some history of some FOI, they say with his well-trained, judo-trained bodyguards. So then you see another picture. A FOI class. This brother got a knife. So the instructor is teaching the brothers how to disarm a person with a knife.
Yes, sir.
But when you look at all, you don't see no pot belly out of shape brothers. You see streamlined condition, FOI, ready to fight at all times. This the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's FOI. Praise Allah. Then when you look at the message, All them brothers who were sitting around them, and you don't see one pot-belly Muslim. All these brothers was trained to take your head off. And that's what the devil saw when they saw the FOI. So back to the article. It says an estimated 200 to 300 Atlanteans gathered to watch the melee. The black man was pulling up front row seats to see them Muslims beat on them devils. Because the black man had never seen nothing like that before in their life. They used to seeing police officers just buffaloing brothers, just kicking brothers around in the street. But when them FOI came, the FOI changed the game, and 200 Atlanteans watching them brothers beat up out them police. Read due to Allah. This ain't even the highlight of the article. The highlight of the article is when they tell the ages of them brothers who was fighting. That's when I was like, wow. So it goes on to say, it says, I got my radio, walkie-talkie, and asked for a couple of units to help me. 5 brothers, 12 police cars, and this devil still calling for help.
Yes, sir.
Messengers say, don't turn on your heels. He said, Allah will help you fight thousands.
Yes, sir.
He said, fight in the name of Allah.
Yes, sir.
That's our God. Master Farad Muhammad. We do to Allah. Because we're not ashamed of Master Farad Muhammad.
No, sir.
These fakes out here steady chicken-hearted Will Smith Israelites. Standing out here pointing to a picture of the Savior. Talking about he a fake God. All we want to say is if Master Farad Muhammad is a fake God, show us the real God. That's the question we've been asking ever since all these fakes start questioning Master Farad Muhammad.
Right.
If he ain't the real, show us your God.
Yes, sir.
Show us some police officer that ran from a chicken-hearted Israelite. Show me one. But let's keep on going with this history. The article goes on to say, after this death, calling for help, after he got 12 police cars and only 5 Muslims, it says Neil and 4 others, all identified as Muslims, was charged with creating a turmoil and simple battery. It says he identified the other 4 as Gregory Johnson, 20 years old. It says Marshall Romeo, 26 years old. It says Leonard Love, 24 years old. And Peter Smith, 18. Praise to Allah. Young brothers, believers in the messenger. The messenger said, fight with those who fight with you.
Yes, sir.
He said, don't turn on your heels, because our God, Master Farad Muhammad, won't be with you. So these brothers trusted what the messenger told them. And even though, it's another thing, we never saw Master Farad Muhammad. Don't need to see him. We ain't never saw him. But we believe the messenger had. It don't make no difference to me if I don't never see Master Farad Muhammad. Master Farad Muhammad is God.
That's right.
I want him to be with me to fight like he was with them brothers.
That's right.
I don't care what nobody say about him. Master Farad Muhammad is the true and living God.
Yes, sir.
He came and raised a messenger for the black man.
Yes, sir.
Nobody else is God. It's down in Atlanta. When you had these devils kicking the black man in the street. Master Farah Muhammad came July 4th, 1930.
Yes, sir.
Master say he came alone with no Israelites with him. He was by himself.
Yes, sir.
Let's keep on going with the history, because there's so much history that I know I ain't going to be able to cover it all today. But let's talk about 6 months later, because you would think that if them brothers fought that hard, seemed like the devil would have left them alone. Devil didn't leave them alone. Once again, the devils came back in the same city 6 months later. But I like them brothers. They was like my daddy. My daddy used to tell me when I used to get whoopings, if he gave me 2 whoopings in a row, that second whooping he'd tell me, if you ain't tired, I ain't tired. That's what he used to tell me. If you want to keep our, we can do this every day. It don't make no difference to me. So Elijah Muhammad said for what? If you ain't tired, we ain't tired.
Yes, sir.
That was Elijah Muhammad said for what? Not Louis Farrakhan. Them brothers don't even want to see what it do. Muslims with the messenger wanted to see what it do.
Yes, sir.
And in this article, a brother died. One of the devils died and a Muslim died. Another thing that be surprising about them, they wasn't mourning and crying like, oh, the brother. They was talking like this brother was a soldier.
Yes, sir.
They was like he didn't die in vain. They was talking like if these devils come back today, we'll do it all over again. We do to Allah. So let's read what these brothers did the second time. 6 months later. I ain't gonna have time to read it all, but I'm gonna get to my favorite part. It says Sergeant Johnson arrived on the scene with a contingent of policemen and called the Muslims together, ordering them to clear the streets. The Muslims refused, and in an ensuing argument, Brother Lee X raised his hand, pointing his finger at Johnson, who knocked his hand down. This was just like them brothers in Baton Rouge. Want to see what it do? No, we ain't going nowhere. We got a right to be here selling papers. Y'all harassing us. The messenger said, fight with those who fight with you. So it goes on to say, it says at this point, Brother Johnny 5X made a motion towards Johnson, and he drew his weapon, shooting Johnson 5X in the stomach. And if I'm not mistaken, this was the brother that died. But then they said Brother Robert 14X then grabbed Johnson by the neck, hit him upside the head, and was dragging him down the street. This Elijah Muhammad said for what? That was in Atlanta, Georgia. Wasn't no bus stop Bible babbling Israelite in Atlanta, Georgia. Telling these brothers, to hell with your bean pie and your false God. Because what the devil never said when they write these articles. Because in another article that I read about this incident, they said the brothers was chanting in a strange tongue. That was the brothers saying, Allahu Akbar.
That's right.
But the devil don't say, oh, they chanted something in a strange tongue. Because a lot of times you read these articles. Sometimes the police thought the brother was by himself sometimes. Brother be standing there selling papers. Devil come up, harass him. Brothers say, Allahu Akbar.
Yes, sir.
Brothers come off the woodworks. I done read this history and I love reading this history. Because if Master Farah Muhammad ain't no God nowhere for the black man. If he could do all this for them, you gonna say, who God did? Who gonna come telling us about another God? If Master Farad Muhammad came, July 4th, 1930, he raised up the messenger. The messenger stayed true to the game for 44 years.
Yes, sir.
Everybody in every city who did what the messenger told them was successful. We successful today by listening to the message.
Yes, sir.
So who about to come tell us about another God? So we tell anybody, if you don't think that Master Farad Muhammad is God, you think he show us God then. Because this the picture the messenger gave us. This what the messenger said to save it. It's good enough for me. Trying to tell you, it's good enough for me.
Yes, sir.
If this what we said, blessed him to do all that for the black man, he my God.
Yes, sir.
If I could believe in Jesus, ain't never seen them do nothing. You would be a fool not to believe it. Master Farad Muhammad, an absolute fool. So let's go on. Now after this brother was shot in the stomach, it say brother Robert 14X grabbed the devil who shot the brother, picked him up by his neck, and was dragging him down the street. Then it goes on to say, it says Simmons went to Johnson's aid with his billy club by hitting Robert 14X on the head, arms, and shoulders. It says Robert 14X, who is a cripple. This brother, a cripple, grabbed this devil by his neck and was dragging him down the street. Then it says Simmons went to Johnson, aid with his billy club by hitting Robert 14X on the head, arms, and shoulders. It says Robert 14X, who is a cripple, dropped Johnson to the ground, turned around and kicked Simmons in the chest. This Muslims,
Yes, sir.
followers of the master. Now you tell me, these chicken-hearted black, I wish the messenger was alive. I wish he was alive, because I'd be with him. And we'll be doing what Muslims should be doing.
Yes, sir.
Defending the message
Yes, sir.
against anybody. I pray to Allah that I live to see the Nation of Islam get back like this. I don't care if I'm 100, I'm going to be walking with them. Wait on me. I'm going to be like brother 14X with Crip. Still got that devil up by his neck. Trying to tell you, I dream about it.
Yes, sir.
I want to be alive. I don't have to see Master Farad Muhammad. Still love him. I ain't have to see the message. Still believe in him.
Yes.
Still want to be faithful. Still want to represent him like it's 1,000 brothers.
That's right, brother.
Because it ain't going to change. If we got one brother, we got 10 brothers, we got 1,000, the love still going to be the same.
Yes, sir.
So it goes on to say, it says both Simmons and Johnson took off and ran into a nearby store to call for more help against a cripple. You already shot the brother in the stomach. Usually that'll make a brother afraid. The messenger say, don't turn on your heels.
Right.
He said, Allah not with you if you turn on your heels. He said, but if you die for a good cause, he said it's better than to die a cop.
Yes, sir.
So even if this devil would have killed brother Robert too, he would have died the winner. We still talking about them.
That's right.
We still impressed with brother Robert 14X. Ain't never saw this brother. But this brother was with the message. He fought to defend the message. Let's go on even further. Finish talking about these chicken-hearted Israelites who don't make no Muslim afraid. Don't make no Muslim feel ashamed. We just pray to Allah to be patient enough to see the rise of the real Nation of Islam. Pray to Allah. So let's go to one of my favorites. Now we staying in 1972. In 1972, they had the incident in Atlanta. They had the incident in Baton Rouge. Then they had another incident in New York. These devils still talking about Elijah Muhammad's FOI. That's why the messengers say, don't run. It's better to die for a good cause than to die a cop. These devils still talking about the messenger's FOI. This was on the front page of the April 1972 New York Times. This is a bad picture. But if you go and type in Harlem Mosque shooting 1972, all the pictures will come up. You got 4 devils here. This devil got a gun. This devil got a gun. And they wore this devil out. So they dragging him. This happened in 1972 at Temple No. 7. This devil's still talking about it today. He even talks about, in his book, he got a book called The Circle of Six. He talks about how when them brothers locked them devils in the temple, because devils play games. The message said the saying was Muhammad makes me. Muslims are not the aggressor. So in 1969, when you get them old Muhammad Speaks newspaper, the Muslims was out for peace. The police was having these fake calls talking about somebody in the temple got a gun. So all throughout New York and other cities, Muslims had police busting in the temple acting like it's somebody in there with a gun. So since the messengers say we are never the aggressor, we always try to find a peaceful way out. So in 1969, the national representative used to go all around to all these police units. They set up a plan. They say if you get a call and they say that somebody in the temple with a gun, call us first. Don't just come to our temple busting in. Because in the Holy Quran it says people can exceed the limits.
That's right.
The devil can exceed the limits.
Yes.
So the Muslims say, okay, y'all about to exceed the limits. So we gonna give peace one more chance. So we gonna set up this plan and say if you would get a call and say that somebody in the temple with a gun, give us a call first. These devils, as my daddy used to say, they ain't believe fat meat was grease. They say them niggas ain't gonna do nothing. So the devils bust in. I think 4 of them got in. Them devils say they knew they was trapped when they heard them 2 steel double doors locked shut. Them was Elijah Muhammad's FOI.
Yes, sir.
They just want to see what it do. Let's see what it do then. We tried peace, that ain't work. Let's see if this work. They still talking about it now because it worked. It worked. They do to Allah. The peace breaker don't see nothing about no peace. He's the peace breaker. The messenger said in order to get peace, you must get rid of the peace breaker.
That's right.
So sometimes you gotta make examples out of people. So them devils bust in and thought niggas ain't gonna do nothing. So this devil said when they heard them steel double doors locked shut, he said they knew that they was trapped. He said a brother ran out of the auditorium and said, Allahu Akbar. And brothers came from everywhere. The messenger say, show them no mercy. That's the teaching. That ain't the teaching of Lewis. That's the teaching of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad.
Yes, sir.
He said, show them no mercy, for they will show you no mercy. So them brothers showed them devils no mercy. So in 2021, this devil was talking about. He said when he went to the hospital, he said he couldn't believe it. He said because in the 1970s, a lot of those police officers was Vietnam War vets. The message say, Allah help you fight 1,000 Vietnam War vets versus unarmed Muslims who fight with those who fight with you. But the first thing they did was call on Allah. Let's talk about the article and wrap it up. This comes from the April 28th, 1972, Muhammad Speaks. This the brother talking about. The brother said it is very easy to talk about God and praise him through faith, gratitude, and love. He said, but to witness the divine power of this mighty, mighty God, to see him put death to flight, this is truly the most powerful and divine being that the world has ever known.
Yes, sir.
So what you think? If Elijah Muhammad's FOI saw these weak, chicken-hearted black Hebrew Israelites talking about to hell with your bean pies and your false God, you think they'll do like the new school Nation of Islam do with Farrakhan and just act like they don't see it? No, we about to see what it do. They calling on Allah to help him fight a devil that's been harassing the black man for 400 years. This brother say it's one thing to believe in God through love and through faith. But when you see this mighty, mighty God put death to flight, that's a whole different thing. So if you FOI during the time of the message, you done seen brothers disarm devils calling on Allah. So if you saw these fake Will Smith chicken-hearted Hebrews talk, we about to see what it do. Let's just see what it do. Because you're not disrespecting our God. The message say, pray to the God that I taught you. We call on Master Farad Muhammad for help and aid. The whole Nation of Islam rests on him. If he didn't come, we wouldn't know the messenger. If he didn't come, we wouldn't know how to eat to live. If he didn't come, we wouldn't know our names. We wouldn't know our God. We wouldn't know that the white man is the devil. We wouldn't know that we gonna rule. We wouldn't know that we the best. We wouldn't know that we the original without Master Farad Muhammad. What you do to Allah? So no believer who believe in the messenger will sit around and let some fakes who ain't never bust a grape talk about your God.
Right.
Let's just see what it do then. Well, brothers and sisters, we don't want to prolong the time. So I leave you as I came in the Nation of Islam's greeting words, peace of Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
Enjoying the show? Help keep us on the air. 313-371-7033. That's 313-371-7033 to make a donation.
Brothers and sisters, we rise for prayer. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, all praise is due to Allah, the Lord of the worlds, the Beneficent, the Merciful, sole message day of judgment in which we now live. The alone that we serve and the alone seeks for thine help and aid. O Allah, please guide us on the right path, path of those upon whom thou spill thy favors, not on the path of those upon whom thy wrath is brought down, nor those who go astray after they heard thy teachings. Say he, Allah is one God. Allah is he of whom nothing is independent, but upon whom we all depend. He begetteth not, nor is he begotten, there is none like him. And I bear witness that none deserve to be served, worship, or praise besides Allah, who came in the person of Master Farad Muhammad. And I bear witness that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is thy true servant and last apostle. I mean, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us not to do anything to anyone they wouldn't have done it to ourselves and treat everybody right, even the devil. Assalamu alaikum.